Hey guys, Raminating Reaper here. So I've just finished watching Bugonia. I bought the home premiere of this on Prime Video, but a pricing glitch actually had this priced at that of a standard rental, so of course I took advantage. This is of course the latest film from Yorgos Lanthimos, written by Will Tracy and served as a remake of a Korean film titled Save the Green Planet. This is also produced by Ari Aster and also Emma Stone, marking her fourth collaboration with Lanthimos. And obviously, this is a pairing that has gotten great results in the past. Obviously, most notably Poor Things, brilliant film, and also got Emma Stone her second Oscar. So, of course, I was really looking forward to seeing what insanity the pair were cooking up next. But is this another winning use of Lanthimos' oddball filmmaking sensibilities? Let's find out. So the film follows Teddy Gatz, a man obsessed with conspiracy theories, who one day he and his cousin Don kidnap high-power CEO Michelle Fuller, believing her to be a member of an alien race known as Andromedons, sent to destroy the Earth. And so the pair keep Fuller in the basement to try and get the truth out of her and also hopefully get her to contact her mothership so that the Andromedons can leave Earth once and for all. The pair believing that what they are doing just might save the planet. So I think it goes without saying that Lanthimos works on a very specific wavelength, a very eccentric one, and I don't think we'd have it any other way with him. So of course, if you're not on that wavelength, yeah, you're likely going to be very turned off by the weirdness on display here. But if you are on that wavelength, then yeah, you're in for an just eccentric, absurd treat. This is a brilliant film. Okay, so I will say right out of the gate, my one issue with the film is that it does sort of take a little bit to really find its footing for me. And don't get me wrong, some of that early setup is necessary, particularly setting up its sort of B analogy. But it feels kind of uneven in its approach and never quite gels. But once it actually gets going and really gets into the swing of things, obviously with the two men and Michelle, it all just clicks, and from there is just an absolute treat. So, of course, this is a film that is ripe with compelling themes and commentary here, particularly a really interesting look at, the sort of mindset of these, insane conspiracy theorists and sort of the lengths they're willing to go to, keep these delusions alive. Obviously there's talk about like, these being fed by like online echo chambers, and all that stuff is really, really interesting. But there's also some kind of interesting environmental messaging and that sort of, looming sense of dread about the collapse of the planet and, humanity. There's obviously talk of like, colony collapse disorder throughout, and obviously, yes, again, linking it to bees. All that stuff is really, really interesting throughout. And of course, it's explored in that, quite uniquely Lanthimos way. As it very much, as this quite eccentric and out there blend of, high concept sci fi, some really funny moments of pitch black comedy, and some elements of horror in there, building a quite, surreal and eccentric vibe throughout that, just very much plays into Lanthimos' strengths as a filmmaker throughout. And there's plenty on display here that really enhances that quite out there vibe. There's some absolutely beautiful cinematography here that is, vibrant and full of contrast, whether it be like, bright sunlit skies and, vast, green rural settings and the sort of, sleek, soulless offices of Michelle's company. And Even the sort of grimy, dirty basement in Teddy's house, it's all beautifully captured, and the squarish aspect ratio really works in building a quite claustrophobic and confined vibe throughout. And it's all enhanced by the score as well, which does a great job of building up a very unsettling and eerie feel, which just only enhances the quite off kilter tone throughout. And there's some quite well placed licensed songs as well. Obviously, yes, particularly Chapel Roan's "Good Luck Babe" and Green Day's "Basket Case," which yes were featured in the film's trailers, and they are deployed very well here and just serve to enhance the film's quite absurd, darkly comic vibe. It is really well done. But what I think really makes it work are the performances, and just really sells the oddity on display here. Obviously, Emma Stone is great as Michelle. She very much, she really excels at this. Obviously, confident figure of authority who's also kind of detached, but also has a sense of like vulnerability and empathy to her as well. And she is fantastic. And obviously her collaborations with Lanthimos, he's just able to get something out of her. Well, obviously, yes, that includes, yes, an Oscar. But yeah, she really shines when pairing with him. Jesse Plemons is also great as Teddy, who's this, obviously, deluded, conspiracy obsessed man who, obviously has believes he has this sort of righteous calling. And Plemons really does a great job with Teddy's quite unhinged demeanor and sort of delusions of grandeur, but also it's a great job of selling the sort of place of tragedy it's coming from. Some obviously quite well placed and quite striking black and white flashbacks, exploring a sort of tragedy in the past with his mother. Yeah, he is brilliant. He always is, but here he's really getting his chance to shine. And Aidan Delbus as Don, Teddy's cousin, is great too. He's the sort of more naive and inexperienced one of the two, but he has that sort of sense of empathy to him. But even if he is possibly being dragged down by his unhinged, obsessed cousin, and there are also some quite well placed moments of comedy from him too, particularly his repeated questioning of can he go to the bathroom. Yeah, he is great, and him and Plemons play very well off each other, and indeed Stone as well. So yeah, it's very much that sort of three-hander that really makes the whole thing work, and is just so compelling to watch throughout, consistently building that tension as it very much all hangs on, yes, that big reveal of which side is actually telling the truth. And obviously, yes, it delivers that reveal magnificently, but also towards the end takes a really brilliantly executed turn to quite dark and disturbing moments with some really quite shocking and unexpected scenes throughout, but also features some quite brilliantly done moments of sort of quite surreal and at times almost ironic imagery that just wonderfully rounds this quite oddball, I guess, satire out. Is yeah, yeah, I just loved this film. Overall, Bugonia is an absurd, eccentric delight in a way that only Yorgos Lanthimos can, dripping with compelling commentary and messages, and just delightfully off-kilter vibes, carried by great performances from Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons. Out of 10, Bugonia gets a 9. So, let me know down in the comments, have you seen Bugonia? What did you think of it? Have you seen the original Korean film that this is based on? I'd definitely like to hear that perspective. What is your favourite of Stone and Lanthimos' collaborations? And are you excited for what the pair might potentially have in store next? Let me know all that down in the comments. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're new. And don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload.